Last question I want to ask you guys. One more thing the school is known for is, obviously like, the school is obviously known for yin energy, and as a side effect, yin energy allows you to go out of body and do like astral projections and things like that. It's not something, Fazio. It's not something. I mean, you're obviously known as a phenomenal Fachi guy. It's not something that you dabble with a whole lot. Am I correct on that?
Well, since I started the school, it's been a lot more.
Oh, okay. That's really cool. Yeah, why don't we start with Fazio then? Fazio, since you joined the school Chi Energy, have you had astral projections, so to speak?
3 times stepped out of body so far.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
It
go
really
ahead.
doesn't take that long. Chris kind of walked me through our laying down meditation, and he was talking about expanding your awareness. Once you get all the heat out of your body, you're completely relaxed, you're not feeling anything. And he's like, use your senses. And I was like, that's a great idea. He's like, imagine you're smelling the ceiling. And I was like, smelling the ceiling? That's weird. But it makes sense when you're there. You literally can put yourself there, your consciousness, awareness. And I took a whiff and I was like, that's the ceiling. And then I opened my eyes and I was out of body. I was like on the ceiling. And I turned around and looked back down on myself. I was like, holy crap, that was fast.
And how long did it take you to do that, to your knowledge?
That was like 11 minutes or so.
Wow, that's very specific. Wow, very cool. Okay. Dalia, so this is another thing I could maybe touch on as well. The school's known for, I mean, there's some people in the comment section asking about this too. School is sort of known for a lot of people being Christians, and so some people were asking about that. So this out of body thing allows you to have encounters with like angelic beings, so to speak. Am I correct on that? Could you describe to me how this out of body stuff that you guys practice and are known for can possibly have those types of experiences? And how has that changed your life personally? Could you go into detail on that?
Well, in the school, you definitely don't have to be Christian to be in the school. So I want to clarify that. But a lot of people tend to have these mystical experiences, and the experiences are kind of similar to what you would find in like with angels and heavenly beings. And so a lot of people start turning on their own. Definitely, you do not have to do it, and the Sifus definitely don't kind of force you to do that or anything like that. But yeah, when you start, one of the first things you notice when you go out of body is, hey, I'm not my body. It's no longer is it a concept. It's an actual reality for you. And what's interesting is when you first step out, you really do see the difference. Your body still moves and stuff. Like one of the things that I noticed was, like my personality, my ego self was still there at first. When I would go out, and it would try to, at first I was so like amazed at how the difference is, but then I started to always become afraid. Like I would make excuses of why I should go back to my body. And one of the excuses was, oh, if I don't go back to the body, it's going to end up like getting bed sores and not being able to move it when it's uncomfortable. And then I remember seeing my body actually move by itself and realizing, hey, it's actually,
There goes the electronics.
Yeah, looks like we lost Dalia.
You know that was bound to happen.
I know.
Yeah, unfortunately, we lost that. So let's get to Sadowski real quick. Sadowski, what has been your experience with like out of body experiences?
Oh man.
And also, have you had encounters with like, angelic beings, so to speak? Like, could you go into detail on that?
So I've gotten really good over the last 8 years. The 8 years I've been in school, of coming out my body pretty often. There's times where it's happened 3 to 4 times a night. There's times where it's happened, every night, and then there's times where it won't do it for a few weeks. And a lot of times it'll do it. I can end up doing it So a lot of times on accident without even meditating. So before I lay down, I'll do my meditation. And then like Fazio said, it's not long. When you get relaxed enough and you're at that spot, you'll start to notice the atmosphere changes. In my personal experience, you start slipping into the other side. It's like you'll hear like a white, like static noise, and you'll be able to pick up, man, you can hear like a cockroach crawling on the other side of your house on a wall. You can hear conversations that's a block or 2 or 3 down the road, and it sounds like it's right next to you. That's what you start to notice. And when you start slipping out of it and things become super aware, I pick up radio stations a lot. And this is before I even come out of my body. This is leading up to that. And then the first time it happened, you'll get an arm raising up, and then you'll get some feet that'll go up. And then I remember like everything was up, but I couldn't get my core out. So I was trying to like physically do it. And then I was talking to Sifu, and he's like, man, just think your way out of it. I was like, okay. So I did it again, and I did a front flip out of my body, and I'm like I'm looking at my body facing like that. And I was like, oh, I did it. And then I just started flying around the house, man, and got pretty good at it. And then so one day, Shauna was on the couch in the living room. This is probably like 9:00 at night. She was laying on the couch reading a book. And I was like, I'm going to meditate. So I went in the bed, did my thing, popped out, I got like clockwork. So I go in the living room, and I like fly up to her shit. And I'm like right in her face. And I was like, Shauna. And she didn't respond. And all of a sudden I got sucked back in my body. Shoop. And I opened my eyes, and I ran into the living room, and she's wearing the same clothes, reading the same book. I had no idea where she was or how she was doing it. And then I was like, that was cool. And then I kind of felt bad a little bit afterwards, because I was like, man, what if like she saw me and it freaked her out? So then I started feeling bad, but like she probably, unless I wanted her to see me, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have. So it's a lot of fun, man. Like it kind of feels like, have you ever had a dream that you're like flying? And it's like super real, like a dream. It's the same feeling. And by the way, it's very, very euphoric. Like once you get used to it and you don't get too excited, because sometimes you'll hit that frequency where you're getting ready to come out, and then like you're like, oh my God, it's happening, and then you get excited and it goes away. You're like, man. So you just got to stay relaxed. That's the experience of me going. I mean, I do it all the time. I haven't been out my body probably, I don't know, probably a few weeks, maybe a month, I guess, maybe. I've moved into a new house, so I'm kind of transitioning towards different things. But that's kind of what happens. It's really euphoric, and it's really awesome. And it's not a dream because you can test it. I mean, you can easily, you could, I don't know, just go out. I wouldn't recommend going to anybody else's houses because you don't want to invade no one's privacy, but stay in your own house and just check things out. You can totally do it. Picking up radio stations is really cool. I was telling Dalia and Fazio, I think Fazio was there, but I'll pick up like 2 radio stations without coming out my body. I'll just be laying in bed, and you'll hear like some music playing. I'm like, man, did I leave the radio on? And then there's another one that'll come in. So you're like intertwined with these radio frequencies, man. And it's really cool. You can smell flowers outside your house. I mean, it's a lot of cool stuff that happens. So
I remember when I first, like early on.
Go ahead and since you got cut out, go ahead and tell.
Yeah. Well, I remember early on with Chris when he was like new, like earlier in the school. And
I'm sorry, Sadowski or Fazio?
Oh yeah, Sadowski.
Sure. Okay.
And I just remember like telling him what it was like to go out of body, and he's like, "You think I'll be able to do that today?" I'm like, "I am sure you'll be able to do that someday." And it didn't take him very long. He got so good at it so fast. And the other thing was sensing, where he was, I could sense certain things, and he was like, "Well, how are you doing then?" I said, "It's kind of like using your hearing. You just all of a sudden, there's no me turning it on. It just happens. I can just, you just do it." And then again, it didn't take him very long. He was just very naturally talented. Like when I first met him, I remember thinking, why does it feel like he's been doing this forever already? So yeah, like he was just very, very naturally talented. And Fazio is also very talented. I'm just very impressed with both of them, both super talented. And able to do a lot of amazing things. But yeah, what was I saying? I think I'm going to say it was Fazio, because electronics tend to like get messed up when he's messing around.
I'm not doing anything. That was all you.
Maybe it was me.
I think that one of you two have been trying to spin around me, so I had to pay you back.
I was messing with you earlier.
I know you were. I was like, gosh dang it, Dalia.
So yeah, what I was saying is like, you don't even need to, it's not like your body's just totally asleep and it can't move without you. When you go out of your body, you can actually see your body moving still. And so at first Sifu's sister actually told me, oh, you don't look at your body because you're gonna get freaked out. And I totally would, and it would totally move around on its own. And it was it's kind of a weird thing. But sometimes, in the beginning, I could always feel when I was coming out, maybe it was a little scary. But after training for a while, you could just kind of slip out or accidentally come out, depending. So there was this one time I was just meditating, and I told you guys this story, but yeah, I was meditating, and then I went to get up from my meditation, and I remember thinking, oh, my leg's asleep. I'm like, why is my leg feeling this way? And then I go to the door, and I go to open it. My hand goes right through the doorknob. I'm like, oh. And then I turned around and I looked at my body, and I was laying on my leg that was in a weird way, and that was the same leg that felt like it was asleep. And so yeah, there is a connection between us and our body. It's pretty interesting. I remember one time Sifu's sister was telling me my higher form, so this is form that I work on every day, was very established, but my legs weren't established that much. And I remember that very day I went out of body like on accident. And it was like I was floating in the air, because the higher form, like I could see the form around me up here, but there was nothing on my legs. And the only way to get around was like swimming. It was so weird. So I just remember telling her that. And so, yeah, when the form kind of follows you, even when you're out of body, it's a very weird thing.
You remember
at first, like I was just going out of body, and I was seeing my body, and I'm around my house and stuff, and it looks kind of similar. Physics are a little different, but then eventually I start going into different places entirely where I don't even remember my body anymore, and I'm in like a different place entirely. And so that started happening later on. It started to slow down once I started having my kids back to back. So it's not the same as before. I remember when I talked to Sadowski one time, and he's like, so you've gone out of body? And I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. He's like, when's the last time? I'm like, maybe like 3 days ago. And I remember him being so shocked. He's like, oh, I'm thinking you're going to say months ago. And I'm like, oh, no. It's actually pretty often. Now it's not so much, because I'm guessing because I have so many young kids and so many distractions, and hardly any time to go really deep with my lying down meditation. Whenever I do my lying down meditation, I'm constantly being jumped on by some child. One of my kids will jump on me in the middle of it. So I haven't had much going out as much lately, but before it was multiple times a week, like Sadowski.
You remember when you told me that story, you just got done training, and I was on the phone with you, and you're in the backyard, and you're like, oh gosh. And like, you started like seeing the geometrical shapes, and you're about to like slip out, and you didn't want to at that time.
Yeah. Cause I had done so when you do your training too hard, and you did, because your heart rate, you check your heart rate and it went up. So you always know you did it too hard if your heart rate went up or if your heat went up. And so my heart rate had gone up, and I was like, oh no, what's going to happen? It's almost like taking a drug and not knowing what's going to happen. Yeah. And so I remember seeing geometrical shapes and saying, oh, I'm in between. I'm going to have to go. I need to go lay down. I don't know what's going to happen. So I remember feeling this nervousness because my heart rate was higher, and I saw myself like going in and out. So yeah. I'm surprised you remember that.
Oh yeah. Oh man. All that stuff. It's fascinating.
Yeah, definitely. One quick thing, Dalia. I remember you telling me a story of you were out of body and you knocked over, like, Sadowski is making cheese sticks. And we'll one day we'll talk about what cheese sticks are, but not today. Tonight, you knocked over these cheese sticks because you were moving. You were astral projecting, and you like flew through the cheese sticks or something like that, and you knocked over these cheese sticks. Like, and I remember you saying something like, that's like, at the advanced level, this can lead to advanced telekinesis and things like that. And like from what I'm gathering from you guys, this could possibly lead to like an advanced remote viewing as well in a way, because like you guys are obviously able to, you know, Stelsky mentioned that you can go to other places and see other things and things like that. What is your take on that, Dalia? Like, so like, do you think astral projection can like lead to other doing other things, influencing the physical world, so to speak?
I think most definitely it can. That was evidence of it. So what I was doing my lying down meditation, and I was kind of going out a little bit, but I remember thinking, let me touch each of the walls. I remember thinking, so I quickly went and touched the wall over here actually. And I had a couple of cheese sticks lined up, and then they got knocked down. And when I heard it get knocked down, it was right when I went and touched the wall at the same time. Like I went right through the sticks and they got knocked down. And then immediately I sat up because it woke my body up. And I was like, whoa. And then I talked to Steve Jones about it after, and he was all like, yeah. And so I do think, yeah, this stuff can lead to things like bilocation and stuff. And being able, what Steve Jones says is you take you build up this farm, and you take your senses with you. So you can take your sense of smell, you can take your sight, you can take all of these things, and you can experience it with the chi body. So it's kind of a one of the things.
Detail as well. John, could you describe to me your astral projection experiences with the school of chi energy and how that has developed over time?
Yes. So many years ago, I started following the exercises that I do in the School of Chi Energy. And we make these changes here and there, and you don't think much about those changes. But as those changes compound onto each other, different effects come out of them. And maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, I remember just doing my normal exercises. And then all of a sudden, wait a minute. I'm looking at myself doing the exercise, or I'm looking at my arm doing the exercise. And now I'm looking at myself doing the exercise. What's happening? I'm standing up looking at myself, but I'm also sitting down. What? I don't get it. So I had to process that one, because of course that freaks me out a little bit. But now it's more as I relax down and as I really get to experience that really good relaxation state, I get to a point where my body just naturally says, okay, I'm going to go to sleep. You have fun. And I get to walk out and see different areas now. And usually these are places that I've been before. Like I've been to my friend's kitchen. I've been to my own kitchen. I stood next to my bed, and it's a really enlightening process, a really enlightening experience, because everything is just so calm and peaceful when it actually happens. And you're like, why can't everything be like this all the time? Why do I deal with stress? Why does stress get involved with me? Like, and that's really my full experience with popping out.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.